You saw Gortash, didn't you? What the fuck was he doing down there? Is all of this because of him? The tadpole, the absolute. How?
It seems he's a servant of the Bane, as Ketheric served Merkel. Who knows what powers he's gained since he knew him.
Whatever the fuck he's been up to in the last 10 years, we have to stop him. He can't just keep ruining people's lives. He can't get away with it. He used me up and gave me away when he was done with me. Didn't matter how much I trusted him. And now he'll use up the entire Sword Coast. He has to die. And I'm gonna be the one who kills him!
We'll do it together, whatever it takes.
He can't get away with what he's done. To me. To us. He won't get away with it.
I can't help but feel like I've been fumbling in the dark for too long. And I've just had a lit torch thrust into my hands.
What are you talking about? Give him a chance.
The crown! The one the Elder Brain was wearing. The one I very nearly destroyed. Netherese magic. So pure, so complete, that I didn't even recognize it at first. Most Netherese artifacts contain only the faintest amount of their former power, the ghost of an echo of a memory. That crown was different. I can't fathom how such a wonder survived. Surely everything of its ilk was destroyed along with Netheril itself, but no matter. It exists. I must learn more of it.
Why is the crown so important all of a sudden?
That crown sits on a gargantuan elder brain bent on destroying us and everything we hold dear. Understanding its true nature might unlock the means of our victory. We need to learn more about what we saw. An artifact as powerful as that crown must have been documented somewhere. As luck would have it, we'll soon find ourselves near one of the finest book collections this side of Candlekeep. Sorcerous Sundries. I need to go there and learn all I can.
Why would a Baldurian magic shop be the first place we look?
Ha! Sorcerous Sundries is no mere trading post. It's been serving the arcane community for centuries. Their collection of rare tomes is unparalleled. Netherese texts are hardly commonplace, but I'm certain they'll have one or two stashed away. You'll have to forgive my eagerness, but if my suspicions prove to hold water, this could be the answer to all our problems.
Alright, anything else?
Gods be damned. With that parasite in his brain, Father could wreak untold havoc in the Absolute's name. Should Baldur's Gate fall to the Absolute, every one of the coast cities will be ripe for the plucking. We're not just fighting for our cure. We're fighting for my father. We're fighting for the Gate. We're fighting for all of Faerun.
You say, some of the whole truth.
But first, a question. If your home were under siege, what would you sacrifice to save it?
I'd give my life if it meant keeping residents safe.
As would I. And more. I was 17. Father, older Ravengard, had just been named a Grand Duke and was called away to Elturel to help settle a dispute. That's when the cult of the dragon made its move.
What's the cult of the dragon?
A religion devoted to conjuring the most evil of goddesses, the dragon Tiamat. A 10-day after Father left, I heard a whisper as I slept. Duskhawk Hill. The Queen of Chaos awakens. Go alone. I grabbed a rapier and set out. There wasn't a cloud in the sky,
yet not a single star was shining. There they were, gathered at the foot of the hill.
Your head tingles. Will wants to show you what happened.
Allow.
In the looming shadow of the mount, 5 groups of 5 figures each encircle a lofty totem. Atop each totem, a dragon's head is carved, and a massive orb held in its mouth. The cultists chant, first softly, then crying to the starless sky. There is a crack of thunder, a gust of wind, and a dragon's white head appears in the storm. As the maelstrom howls, Mizora's lips press to your ear. She will destroy Baldur's Gate. Grant me your soul, and I will give you the power to save it, she whispers.
She read the terms while 2 devils stood witness, and I said yes. 1 soul for 1 city.
Why would she want to save it?
She didn't. She came on order of her mistress, Zariel.
She never stops. Does she? Not for a second.
Tiamat made a play for power. Zariel had other plans. That was the most Mizora's ever said. All that mattered was that she got her prize. Another pet added to her warlock menagerie.
Sacrificing your soul to see was a brave thing to do.
I don't know that it was brave. I just know that it was right. The moment I agreed, I burned with the fires of Avernus and oozed the rot of Dis. The cultists choked on our poisons and burned from our flames. When we were done, all that remained were 5 greyed orbs atop a pile of ash. My soul was bound, and my lips were sealed.
Is that how you lost your eye in a battle with the cult of the dragon?
It is the one scar I ever bore of it. Mizora replaced it with a sending stone. She uses it to track my location and speak from a distance. I could flee to the spine of the world or the depths of the lower dark and still never shake her.
About your father, the Grand Duke?
He returned to an unsuspecting city and a wayward son with a smirking devil at his side. I tried to tell him the truth, but my mouth couldn't form the words. I'd led him to the battlefield, but Mizora had swept it clean. I showed him my stone eye, but he only turned away. After, he said only one word: go. So I did. I understand.
The Absolute has driving guard. Where will they take him?
Worm's Rock Fortress. All travelers to Baldur's Gate flow through it. It serves as headquarters for the Flaming Fist and their commander, my father. The Absolute's army's on the march. Gods forbid a tadpoled Grand Duke throw open the gates for them.
What do you know about Gortash and Orin?
Orin? I'd never heard tell of. But Gortash I know. Or know of, more precisely. A self-styled strategic advisor to Baldur's Gate's peers. A bit player with dreams of a leading role, the way Father told it. He had no use for Gortash, and even less for his advice. I don't remember much beyond that. But where these chosen are concerned, I have a suspicion we're about to know more than we'd like.
You must have been furious at your father for throwing you out of the city.
No, never. He did the only thing he could. In his eyes, I invited a devil into our midst. I was a fool at best, a traitor at worst. And Grand Duke Ravengard suffers neither.
You miss your father?
More than you know. The better question is, did he ever miss me? If he did, he missed the Will Ravengard he once knew, not the hell-touched warlock he returned to.
What do you think of the illicit potential?
I think that unknowable powers come with unknowable consequences. I can't say I'm not curious, but once you take an illithid by the talon, there's no telling how deep into the abyss it might drag you.
Alright.
All right. What else is on your mind?
We should not linger here. The cult's army is on the march.
Why is Minthar
Something's on my mind.
sitting on a throne?
I will never tire of sitting on dead men's thrones.
The previous occupants, we make a good team.
My blood ran hot when we broke Ketheric's bones together. But we have greater challenges ahead of us. It is clear now that he was not working alone. During my time in the cult, I came to know one of his co-conspirators all too well. Baal's bloodletter, Orin. To think, I thought her to be speaking for the Absolute. I worshipped that woman.
So it's so personal? Good, let's take her down.
You make it sound so simple. She is the chosen of Baal, Lord of Murder, and one of the cult's founders. Indeed, she is the one who indoctrinated me with the Absolute's lies.
What do you remember of your indoctrination?
When I first visited Moonrise, I stood before the Absolute in awe. It was more of an idea than an entity. Pure love. Total power. Orin was by my side. She told me that God had chosen me to be a true soul. Blessed and adored. Now I know that those memories are lies. There was no God. Orin held me down in a cocoon of flesh, while a mind flayer forced a parasite into my brain. And she laughed at my fear. I will find her. I will murder her. And I will smile.
Once she's dead, the cult will need a new leadership. Perhaps we can take her place.
It is as if you read my mind. Perhaps you did. In killing Ketheric, we fractured the cult's leadership. When we break the other chosen and claim their netherstones, we can take control.
I'm with you.
I expected you would be. But know this. What I propose is nigh on impossible. But if anyone can succeed, it is us. We have the prism, and we have the courage to slay gods. We may fail, but we must try. The power of the enslaved Elder Brain could reshape the world. We could reshape the world. And then we will need no gods. We will be their equal. We will be absolute. We have a purpose and a bond. By my oath, I will fight with you, while that purpose holds. There is yet one thing about you that troubles me, though. Something I need you to explain. Why come to Moonrise, where the cult's power is strongest? Why not walk away?
Coming here was my best chance to learn more about the tadpole, possibly even cure it.
A wise ploy, and it was successful to an extent. We did not find a cure, but we found our purpose. I am satisfied. Now, I am ready to leave this damned place whenever you give the word. The city awaits.
Give me answers. But every twist of its corridors, I find only more questions.
Thou dog.
Defeat the remaining chosen and the elder brain control.
You did it. Ketheric Thorm is no more. The Shadow's grip is broken. Soon, the land shall heal.
I'm glad I could help.
Not as glad as I am. Nature moves at its own pace and bestows its bounty when it sees fit. Give it time. A reward shall come to you when you need it most.
Okay, I don't need you, Halson, in your...
Whatever comes, I'm ready. All right, what now?
Relieve.
Wonder if the gods are watching me.
We leave the heart of the Absolute alive. Thanks to you. You did well to defeat Ketheric. But Ketheric was only the first to fall. There are many more battles ahead, and they will not be so easily won. You will need allies.
I'm worried what I might do to my allies.
Whatever you might do to one cannot be worse than what the Chosen will unleash on all. And you are the one who could prevent it. You have the makings of a leader. Your actions have already inspired those around you. Halsin's strength and loyalty will bolster you in times of need. But if we are to succeed, we will need others.
Will there be anyone left when we arrive in the city? I will seek my allies in the city.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Baldur's Gate may not know it yet, but its fate is bound to ours. Seek on its streets those whose purpose aligns with our own, and invite them to our cause. Together, we will put an end to the Absolute, the Chosen, all.
Yes.
The curse is broken and the shadows are lifting. In time, these lands will heal.
Last light is no more. The shadows are victorious.
Yes. And owing to your dubious compulsions, we've lost crucial allies. You are powerful, but not insightful. Are you sure that's the best course of action?
Yes.
Confirm.
I'd like some time to talk.
I never saw myself as a banisher of shadows before. I was always more of a lurker in, historically. Oh, darling, I'm hurt. It sounds...
I think we've done rather a good thing here. A welcome change to gift this land a sliver of hope amongst so much despair.
The destruction we brought at the last light inn, did you give it a thrill of pleasure?
Can't say that it did. I'm not entirely sure we made the right decision there, if I'm being honest with you. What's done is done, I suppose. But I'll be loath to cause such destruction again. Not unless the alternative is far, far worse. I question the wisdom of that decision. I'll be here in the meantime.
Lady Shah's power will soon fade from these lands. But it is a price that had to be paid, so that the traitor Ketheric Thorm could face justice at last.
If you're sure.
I'm sure.
Fine. I'll be here whenever you rediscover...
Wish we could stay and see what this place will be like without the shadows. I bet it's beautiful. No rest for the wicked, huh?
Tell me more about your relationship with Gortash.
He got his claws into me early. I was a wild kid, brawling my way through the city. One of my mates got wind of a bit of work guarding some indoorsy type with lots of enemies. Seemed like easy money, so I went in for it. He took one look at me and said I was perfect. I like that. Not like that, you know. Just... it felt like a good fit. I kept him safe, and he paid me well. Well enough to move my folks into a better neighborhood and put something away for the future. My future. I respected him, trusted him. And he returned that trust, that respect. His life was in my hands, and I took that seriously. The whole thing with Zariel happened so fast. I had no idea what had gone down until it was over. One minute I was in Baldur's Gate, a happy, healthy, not quite kid. The next, I was burning up in Avernus with an engine for a heart. Zariel laughed. Said she paid him well for my services. She'd wanted to test her new machine, and he said I'd be able to handle it. He was right. Sometimes I wish he weren't. Evil, evil bastard. Hey, soldier.
The cleric is gone, the shadows have devoured an innocent, oh glorious night.
You can't possibly mean that. We had a responsibility to protect Isabel and those she was guarding. We failed. Badly.
Really? Really, really?
You heard me.
Oh, fine. I'll be here eating dirt or whatever.
The shadows are lifted. Finally, we can breathe free. Are you sure?
Okay, gotta talk to the other two. Where they at?
Thaniel rests well. He's healing very rapidly, now that Oliver has returned to him.
I'm glad I could help.
I knew I could put my faith in you. If only we had met sooner.
So when will the curse actually be lifted?
I can't say for certain, but we'll see it come to pass long before this place recedes behind us. Don't worry. All is at hand. We can depart whenever you're ready.
What happened to Oliver exactly? Did Daniel absorb him?
No more than my right hand can absorb my left. Oliver is helping Thaniel to recover. They both lie dormant, like trees awaiting spring. Once the curse is lifted, they can stand as one or as a pair. Whatever they wish. I hope they will remain as a pair. It will be good for them both to have a friend, once I'm gone. Still, I would like to return here someday. See Thaniel and Oliver again. In my meditations, or perhaps in person, if the Oak Father wills it. I hope he does.
What now? You've got what you wanted after all.
I have. But perhaps there is more that I want. Anyway, once the curse is lifted, nature can take its course without me. I belong at your side.
I'm glad to have you.
And I'm glad to be had. Glad to be with you, I mean. I'll be ready.
As you approach Minthara, you feel her mind reaching out to yours, tentative and curious. Then it retreats, soft as a whisper.
Sorry. Old habits.
What are you apologizing for?
I did not ask permission. When we first met, I did not think we would ever share anything more than an uneasy alliance, born of our mutual enmity for the Absolute. I was wrong. A deeper bond has grown between us. I trust you. But I would like to touch your thoughts again, now that my mind is my own. May I?
Only if I could see your thoughts as well.
Of course. I do not hide anything from you. Until my time in the cult of the Absolute, I had spent little time on the surface, except to raid and pillage. I did not expect to find any outside the Underdark who saw the world as I do, and wanted from the world what I want. I did not expect you.
You're rather special yourself.
I have been told that I am special since my mother first held me in her arms. The burden of expectation. Before the Absolute, I lived a life of certainties. I knew that I was destined for greatness because I was born to it. I also knew that my inherited privilege came with a cost. That the bonds of fellowship and family could be broken by envy and ambition. I could not enjoy the taste of food for fear of poisoning, and I could not enjoy the company of lovers and friends because I feared they hid knives behind their smiles. In spite of the danger, I was happy. I knew myself, and I understood the world around me. Now, nothing is certain. Without Lolth, without the Absolute, without my home, I do not know myself. But you do, I think. Show me myself through your eyes. Let me see what I am to you.
Open your mind.
She joins her thoughts with yours, and you are as one. You share in her strength of mind and formidable will, but also the doubts that eat at her conviction. Those doubts cluster in swarms, and the thickest is around her sense of self. She pushes past, revealing the image of her you hold in your mind. What does she see?
A survivor? An ally, a friend.
Her mind cools. Acceptance is colored by disappointment.
We need to trust one another if we are to survive. But I want more from you than that. I want all of you.
Oh, okay.
The cold shell of Minthara's mind melts away, and you are drawn into the heart of her. Warm, passionate, and dangerous.
I have never lacked confidence, but this conflict seems so much bigger than the two of us. It frightens me. I do not know if we will survive it, but whatever life remains to us, I would gladly spend it fighting at your side and lying with you at night.
That would be a good life.
Her mind touches yours, feather light and hesitant. A stark contrast to the confidence with which her thoughts intruded on yours in the past.
Tonight, there will be no voices, no orders, no gods. I belong only to you.
Okay.
I for one will miss the Shadow Curse. For all the pain it caused us, it did at least obscure the incessant sun.
You must be glad Ketheric's dead.
I take no pleasure in his passing. Whatever faults he may have had, Ketheric was a great leader.
You respected him?
Of course. He ruled Moonrise for centuries. That in itself deserves respect. I believe he was an honorable man, but the gods used him as their plaything. First Shah and her sister, then the three behind the Absolute. I sympathize.
You're surprisingly soft-hearted sometimes.
It is a sharp mind that feels sympathy for one who suffers unnecessarily, not a soft heart. I saw strength in Ketheric that had been diluted by pain, but I will never forgive him for handing me to Orin. For that, I hope Merkel hollows out his bones and lets them be dust.
When did you first encounter the cult of the Absolute?
A true soul came to my city preaching a message of togetherness, accompanied by 2 novices. Menzoberranzan is not fertile ground for such messages. I killed them and hanged their bodies in my garden.
Interesting design of choice.
I would have picked prettier corpses if my intentions had been aesthetic. This was a warning against heresy. I was not content with the warning, though. I intended to wage war on their insolent god and the rest of its followers. Even as the flesh sagged and sloughed away from their eyeless skulls, their audacity infuriated me. I had to know where they came from. And whoever sent them was counting on my curiosity overcoming my caution.
You followed their path back to Moonrise?
Yes. All it took was a simple act of necromancy, and the corpses told me where I needed to strike. Moonrise Towers.
Given how we met, it's safe to say you failed.
It is never safe to point out my shortcomings, Iblith. But in this instance, you are correct. Moonrise is the site of my greatest failure. As it turned out, to my shame, I was defeated without even drawing my weapon. I came to Moonrise with a retinue of warriors and assassins, the best House Bainray had to offer. I expected a battle, but found a fully laden feast table and a welcome befitting a house matron. Ketheric expected us, expected me, and I fell for his flattery.
Understandable.
Perhaps I deserved what came after the welcome as well. Ketheric proposed an alliance between Moonrise and Menzoberranzan. I admit I was captivated by him. He invited me to the head of his table as his guest of honor. I was wary, of course. If I had been in his position, the food would have been poisoned. It was not the food I should have been wary of. It was the pale woman at the foot of the table. Orin the Red. We had barely begun to eat when she spoke for the first time. I only caught one word, my name. Then, quick as lightning, she climbed onto the table, a dagger in each hand, and skipped toward me, slicing the throats out of my men as she passed them.
Should have died fighting.
If it had been an option, I would have. Ketheric held me still, his hand on my shoulder, the grip tight enough to crack the bone. When Orin stood before me, she touched the dagger to my eye, drawing out a tear of blood. "I want this one," she said. Ketheric nodded his permission, and I was taken below. "You've seen the horrors of the colony. Orin kept me there for days. She forced me to watch as my men were processed. Some for food, others as thralls. And then she placed the tadpole in my eye herself.
You'll have your revenge.
That is certain. You know the rest as well as I do. There were massacres before the Grove. Religious communities, mostly. Those who refused to convert. Then there was you, and now there is freedom. Soon there will be vengeance. Then speak. Very well.
Nothing else?
A mistake. I am your most valuable asset.
Don't question
me. When
me.
you realize your mistake, I will be ready to join you again.
Alright, time to rest.
Your mind is heavy. The devastation of Last Light is sure to pique the interest of the vile Sceleritas.
In fear you will ever be free of him. You regret them all.
No, don't be sad, Master. I am here to give you a happy present. The cleric and Last Light, all are now but an ichord slag heap. And it was all your own work. You didn't even need your butler's advice. You have acted with the utmost decorum. First the bard, now this triumph. A part of your past is here for you. I come with your disgusting prize.
If it's from my old life, I don't want anything to do with it.
Your past and your future are avowed lifelong lovers. Come closer, my depraved prodigy. Try on your new gym jams. They're a present from Father. It would be rude not to. Oh, such a strapping young behemoth.
You cannot speak, but you have command over your own cruelty.
Force yourself back.
And look at you. Now you're your perfect self again. This form is the Slayer. You will do many naughty feats with it. I wish I had been blessed with a few more moments of ogling. But the Slayer will be back soon.
Please let me be free. Are you going to tell me everything about my lineage or else?
Or else what, debased one? There is nothing you can do to me I would not enjoy. And there is nothing you can do to thwart yourself. You are perfection. But you should be hopeful for your bright future. You are going to kill again soon. You will keep chopping down the Moon Maiden's family tree. I shall return when you next have need of me. I have your estate to attend to. We will meet again there. Good night, sweet master.
Alright, guess I'll end it here.